Amazon is going to destroy the car industry. These Challengers come preloaded with the repo package. CarMax and Carvana's worst nightmare just happened. CarMax is selling used cars for a higher price than you can get a brand new one for. There's a reason why mom and pop retailers and even a lot of big department stores don't exist anymore, and it's because Amazon killed them. A lot of these Chargers, Challengers, Mustangs, Camaros, these toys, they're getting repoed and they're the first ones to go. So Amazon just made this huge announcement that they are going to begin to offer the sale of vehicles online starting next year. So here's why that becomes so bad for these dealerships, is now it's a race to the bottom. Customers are now through Amazon going to be able to get the ease and the price. But I think this is a serious problem for CarMax, for Carvana, and for really all of the new franchise dealerships out there. Right after Amazon made this announcement, both Carvana and CarMax's stock sold off. And why is that? Well, shareholders know that this is actually both of those online auto retailers' worst nightmare. All right, so I know this one's ridiculous right here because I've been at some Honda dealerships recently. This is a 2023 Civic Sport, and it's got 22,000 miles, and they're selling for $27,000. I know you can get brand new ones close to, if not less than that, but the ridiculous thing about this, it's got 22,000 miles on it. So somebody bought this thing, drove the crap out of it for not even a year, and then came and sold it to CarMax. What are you doing that you're driving a car for 22,000 miles in a year? So customers are actually going to be able to check out cars through Amazon's platform. They're going to be able to get financing and make payments actually through Amazon, and they're going to be able to have the vehicle shipped straight to their doorstep, or they can have it shipped to a local dealership where they themselves can go pick it up. So Hyundai is the first manufacturer to actually ink a deal with Amazon to be able to provide their cars through Amazon's platform. But I can guarantee you right now, behind the scenes, every other auto manufacturer is working with Amazon to try to make this a reality. And it's just going to be a matter of time before you start seeing announcement after announcement after announcement of these other brands that are coming online with Amazon. So I like to look at these Gladiators a lot because I know from Jeep, these are the things that you can get the best discount off. The 2021 Rubicon, and it's $44,000, and they got 35,000 miles on it. But what I know coming out of Jeep right now is, from seeing the numbers, is that you can get like 10 to 20% off a lot of these Gladiators. And I wonder what the mentality is through a CarMax, a Carvana, of when they're going and pricing these. And now they're seeing these dealer incentives come out on the new ones, where I've seen a lot of Gladiators that I've seen $38,000 to $45,000 after all these incentive packages that are coming through from the manufacturers, because this is going to make companies like CarMax, Carvanas, they're going to have to be very fluid with their pricing. And because a consumer, when they see a brand new Jeep Gladiator for a similar price to what CarMax is selling a used one for, it's a no-brainer. They're going to go to Jeep and they're going to go buy the new one. So CarMax, I feel like they have to pay attention to this stuff, and they have to be aggressive with their pricing, because they're not selling a new car, they're selling used cars. So after Amazon's big announcement, CarMax actually came out with their own response, and this comes from, check this title out, is CarMax's Chief Innovation and Strategy Officer. He said, "We are not surprised by Amazon's announcement, and we see it as another distribution avenue for cars." So what he actually means by distribution avenue for cars is just really another medium, another online way for customers to be able to shop. And it's really him coming from CarMax is going to be his job to downplay what Amazon is actually doing. But I think this is a serious problem for CarMax, for Carvana, and for really all of the new franchise dealerships out there. And here's our RAV4 aisle. I always like to check RAV4s while I'm here. There's one with a flat tire. But we'll check this hybrid right here. It's always a good one. All right, so this is a 2021 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid XSE. It's got 49,000 miles, and they are selling it for $35,000. Now, I've been to a Toyota dealership recently. It's been very hard to find RAV4s. So CarMax, they are still able to sell these RAV4s at a little bit of a premium because they're still hard to find. But as more inventory comes in the system, as more inventory gets to these new franchise dealers, you're going to see that CarMax CarMax is going to have to pull their prices back, because gone are the days where you can't find these vehicles brand new, so a lot of these consumers have to settle for a used version of it. Now you can find them brand new, so CarMax is going to have to factor that in going forward, and that's going to hit their margins a lot, because they're not going to be able to charge these outrageous prices for these used vehicles because consumers can't find them new. So I do see some other headlines out there, especially from automotive media, saying that this is actually a good thing. This is a way for dealers to get more eyeballs on vehicles. And in a way, they're absolutely right. You're absolutely going to have way more people looking at these vehicles if they're put on a website like Amazon, because they already have this loyal and massive customer base. So there's a few reasons why I believe that this news is really bad for new franchise dealers, and also really bad for the CarMaxes and the Carvanas of the world. So let's think about how people actually buy things on Amazon. I would almost guarantee that there's probably 99% of you out there that when you go and buy something from Amazon, you have no clue who you're actually buying it from, because Amazon is a distributor. So when you go onto Amazon and you're clicking buy, and you say, hey baby, I bought this new back scratcher. I don't know why I use back scratcher, but whatever I bought from Amazon, you say that you bought it from Amazon, but you're really not buying it from Amazon the company. You're buying it from a seller that is listing it for sale on Amazon. But what Amazon is doing is it's finding this product that you want, and it is doing all the work for you. It's finding the best price. It's finding the best shipping method, the one that's closest to you. It's doing all this work for you. So you just see this one product and you see a price and you say, I want to buy that. So now Amazon's going to do the same thing in the automotive space. And Hyundai was the first one to sign up. So we'll use Hyundai as an example. If you go online and you want to buy a 2024 Hyundai Sonata, then what Amazon's going to do is it's going to look at the 10 or 20 Hyundai dealers that are around your area, and it's not going to show you 20 different Hyundai Sonatas. It's going to show you one. And the way that Amazon is going to get that one is they're going to find the best price, the best shipping method, and the best basically all-around package for the consumer that is looking for that Hyundai Sonata. So here's why that becomes so bad for these dealerships, is now it's a race to the bottom. Because if you're posting your vehicle for sale on Amazon, the only way that that consumer is going to see your vehicle is if you are the cheapest price. So if you are a dealer and you make a lot of your money from actually price gouging consumers, you're not going to be able to do that on Amazon if you're trying to sell vehicles from Amazon, because your car will never be put in front of that consumer. Because what's going to happen is that consumer is going to see one car, they're going to see one price. And if you're not the lowest price, they're not seeing your car. So while this is going to be a terrible thing for a lot of dealerships, it's going to be a really good thing for probably the biggest dealership in the area that can make the lowest amount of profit per car because they move so much volume. And it's going to be really good for the consumer, because the consumer is going to have Amazon do all the work, do all the research, find the best price for them, and then present it in a nice, neat package, at the demise of all of these dealers that would want to price gouge. All right, now I walked around this whole lot, and this is the cheapest thing. Actually, that's not it, that's a Ford. This is the cheapest thing we were able to find, and it is a Toyota Yaris. So this is a 2015 Toyota Yaris L, and they're selling it for $14,000. It has 98,000 miles, cheapest thing on the whole lot, and it's $14,000. So now you're asking, well, Brandon, this only is affecting new cars right now, and Carvana, CarMax, they sell used cars. So why would their stock price sell off? Well, shareholders are not stupid. What they know is that this is just the tip of the iceberg for Amazon, and there's a ton of money in used vehicles. And these are only the first steps. So once Amazon figures out this new car market, there's no way that they're not going to start to get into the used car market. And this is just the beginning right now of what Amazon wants to do in the auto space. Shareholders know it, and they know that this absolutely could lead to the demise of CarMax or Carvana. And if there is somebody, if there's some company out there to do the auto space right, it's going to be Amazon. So here's the next problem for CarMax and Carvana is that as more brands come online, as more new car dealers actually come into the ecosystem at Amazon, what happens is that's going to drive the price of new cars down. And if new car prices are driven down, then that's going to drive down the prices, especially of the upper end of the used cars. You can go down here and you can find some of these used vehicles that are just a year old, and they're actually selling them for more than a new one would cost. And the reason why customers would pay so much more for a CarMax vehicle, for a Carvana vehicle, is because they're paying for this ease. That's why CarMax has been so successful, is because there's no negotiation. You come in here, you can see every price on every windshield. You know exactly what you're going to pay. Customers will pay extra to not have to go to a dealership, to have to fight with the salesperson to get the actual price that they're going to eventually pay. So now this is what Amazon is going to beat them at, because not only is Amazon going to give the consumer the ease of the purchase, but they're going to make the sellers be competitive to the customers beforehand. And then they're going to do the work for the consumer, and then Amazon's going to make the buying process so much easier. So customers are now, through Amazon, going to be able to get the ease and the price. And with CarMax and Carvana, all you get's the ease right now. So looking at these Challengers, Chargers, Mustangs, Camaros, I talk a lot about, I do a pre-repo joke all the time, but it's not as far from the truth as you would think. See, a lot of these vehicles, a lot of these toys, they were bought and people paid way too much for them and got into loans that they couldn't afford. Eventually they figure out that they can't pay for it, and those are the first ones that go back. So that's why we're seeing them at auctions pop up a lot. A lot of these Chargers, Challengers, Mustangs, Camaros, these toys, they're getting repoed and they're the first ones to go, and we're just seeing them stack up at auctions. So recently CarMax's stock target price has been cut by analysts, and what they cite is that a massive rise in delinquencies is the reason why they would cut down on the target price for CarMax's stock. So lately, as the economy has gotten worse, as inflation has still remained stubbornly high, what's happened is that there's been a massive spike in delinquencies. And the big problem with CarMax and why this analyst has downgraded their stock is because CarMax actually holds a lot of their own notes. And when I say notes, the loans, whenever they sell these vehicles, they are able to actually get the customer into the loan and they write it themselves. And this is both a good thing and a bad thing. When the economy is booming and everybody's got money, this is a great thing because they can sell cars for outrageous prices and write people loans that couldn't get loans anywhere else. But now it is cited as a big headwind for them because they've got a lot of money riding out on the streets, and they've got a lot of loans that they wrote that they probably should not have written. And with delinquencies ticking up and repos going through the roof, what's going to end up happening is a lot of these cars that they're writing loans on, they're going to go default. They're going to have to repo these cars. And a lot of times when you repo cars, especially when the customer's only been in them a year and a half, a lot of these vehicles they're going to lose a ton of money on because the values have dropped so quickly. So I've talked a lot about the good things about Amazon coming into the market, but there's going to be a lot of struggles that Amazon has to deal with. One good thing about Amazon coming into the market when they're coming into it is that they've already seen Carvana do a lot of this. They've already seen Carvana fail at a lot of things, and it's going to be easy for them to go through and see Carvana's journey and be like, oh, well, we don't need to do that, we don't need to do that, we can do this, because Carvana has really been the guinea pig of someone else coming right behind them in the space and trying to do what Carvana did so well, but they can avoid all the failures that made Carvana just this dumpster fire of just igniting investor money on fire. But I will say one of the huge struggles that Amazon is going to have to figure out is after they get through the new car space and they figure that out, they're actually going to have to figure out, okay, the used space, because eventually Amazon is going to start dipping their toes into that. And getting into the used car market is a whole different animal, because when you're selling a new car, new cars can be the exact same. You can have the exact same trim, they have no miles, they're brand new. But every single used car is different. A 2017 Toyota Camry is not going to be like any other 2017 Toyota Camry that you can find right now. They're going to be maintained differently. They're going to have different things wrong with them. They're going to have different mileage. And if Amazon ever wants to break into that space, it's going to take a much different mentality to actually sell those vehicles online than it will to sell brand new vehicles online. And you want to sell it, that's a big truck and there's a lot of noise. Massive customer, because they already have this massive customer base integrated. Hyundai Sonatas in front of yours, nope, UPS truck. Because the values have already